wife without any introduction. I met my wife by just God's leading. It was a Sunday service, right?
Hello, welcome to IPN TV. This is a short video clip from Pastor Isaac Oyedepo, sharing his experience on how he met his wife. Be blessed as you watch.
All right, so how I met my wife. Well, I think the first and most important thing maybe that I've heard in this discussion is what Pastor David mentioned about discovering purpose and then discovering the person. For me, my wife is not the first person I dated. She knows that. We are very public about that. It's also important to note that a person is not right for you doesn't make them evil. They're just not right for you in terms of the discovery of your purpose and what you've been called to do. So let that be out there. It's very important. We don't go about criticizing someone because it didn't work out. Yeah. You were the reason it didn't work out because you discovered what God had called you to do. And so I think that's very important. I met my wife without any introduction. I met my wife by just God's leading. It was a Sunday service right here in the Faith Tabernacle. I think that was 2008 or 2009. So I'd already come into ministry then. I want to be sure. I think it was 2008. And so I was coming into the secretariat, the same old secretariat, no introduction. I didn't know who she was. But then I just happened to be a pastor that she asked to see another pastor. And that's how I met my wife. I knew instantly that she was my wife. And it didn't take me time to tell her that I want to get married to you. I didn't hear it, thus saith the Lord. But I was so sure. I tell you the truth, in Christ, and I lie not, 13 years have been amazing. 13 years have been sweet. Again, it goes back to discovering your purpose, right? Because you need a fit that matches your assignment. And so for me, mine was very easy. Thankfully, and by God's grace, I really don't have to say thank you to anybody for introducing me. I met her as another church member. I never looked back. But like Pastor David said, one of the first things we discussed was purpose. I was already working in some degree of it then. But for me, that was the most important thing. This is my assignment. This is the phase I'm in. Where do you see yourself within this assignment? And so I think that when it comes to marriage, sometimes the crash that marriages experience is not necessarily because the other person is evil. It may just be the wrong fit. When you have the right fit, it's like hand in gloves. It fits perfectly. So I think it's also important. But from my story, you find out that I had to take a risk. And some people are not willing to take that risk. Again, it goes back to you first discovering God's plan and purpose for your life, because who could I speak to ask about? Right? And many people have had those experiences where you had to ask somebody, okay, do you know her? What do you think about her? I had to rely 100% on God. She took me to her parents. There was nobody to say, so on and so forth. And, one of the things that we have enjoyed is just the authenticity, the openness. Because we had to be open anyway. There was nowhere to confirm anything. So for instance, coming on a show like this, talking about her not being the first person is not new. She knows everybody by name. That's how authentic and open we are. It just gives you rest. There is nothing to be bothered about. There's nothing to be concerned about. But I think it's very important and key that first of all, it is purpose. Find God's purpose and then find God's person. And when you do so, life becomes easy.